Jason and Brooke here, Clear Creek Farm. How are we doing? We've been asked quite a few times on what we feed and how we feed, and tonight that's what we're going to go into. So we don't really like to specifically tell people exactly what to feed. There's so many brands of feed out there that you could feed pretty much any type of show feed. But because we've been asked, we'll tell you exactly what we feed and how we end up feeding it to our animals. Our does get Excalibur, which is part of the Purple Vision line, which is a show feed. Our bucks get up to 2 years of age. They get the Buckaroo feed, which is another Purple Vision line of feeds. It's actually formulated for the bucks, and it helps them grow and get the muscle and the size that they need before they hit an older age. Once they get to 2 years old, we switch them over to the Excalibur, and that is actually a complete feed, and it is designed, if you want to call it that, specifically for show animals and for Boer goats.
I feel like this is something that I've talked about some more. I guess it's just something that a lot of people want to know about. I don't really know how much we can talk about something before we start beating a dead horse. But to kind of add to what Jason said, the Excalibur is what also gets fed to babies from like 4 weeks old up on through until they're adults. We start it in the creep feeder, and that's the feed they get from the time they're little babies all the way up until their brood does.
We will leave a link in the down in the description for Lowe's Pellet and Grain. You can go on to their website and actually find a dealer close to you, or reach out to them, or you can reach out to me to find a local dealer or a way you are able to get it. We've been feeding it 3 years now, and we have no complaints about the feed. It does what it says it's going to do. It's a complete feed. We haven't had any problems with any type of toxemia when they're kidding on this feed, and actually we had quite a few problems before we switched over to the Purple Vision. Not saying it's because of that. It could be that we've actually learned over the years of doing it to know what we need to do to actually keep our animals in good enough shape for the show ring and good enough shape to be able to get bred and actually have kids with no troubles.
So the purple line of feed for the goats, anyway, is all pelleted feeds. This is a micro pellet. I prefer feeding pellets over like a textured feed, which is basically a sweet feed. We used to feed a textured feed, and I'm not saying it was a bad feed, because it wasn't. Our goats did pretty well on it, but they tend to sort the textured feeds, especially when they're young kids. The kids especially will pick out the good stuff, like the corn. And with the pelleted feed, they're not able to do that. They have to eat all of it, and all the nutrients that they need is inside the pellet. So they're actually getting everything they need, rather than a textured feed where they're gonna pick and sort through the stuff they want first, and then maybe go back and eat the other stuff, which is usually the stuff that they actually need, like the vitamin pellets and all that stuff. So I just wanted to kind of reiterate on that a little bit, because I know I've had people ask me, what do you prefer, a pellet or a textured feed? And that's my answer. I prefer a pelleted feed. We've also been asked a lot what kind of vitamins we feed. We actually feed Durafirm Goat Concept Aid. It's made by Biozine. This is what it looks like, if you can see it. This is actually a mineral and vitamin package together. We used to feed the Lowe's minerals, and while they were good, the goats didn't quite eat them as much as I wanted them to. When we were told about this stuff and we switched over, and my gosh, they love this stuff. You can always tell when they need something is missing in their diet or they need something extra. They will hit on this in the mineral feeders like crazy. It helps a lot with conception. It actually smells really good too. So I see why the goats like it. A lot of the issues with a lot of the other vitamins is it has too much salt. If a mineral has too much salt, your goat's not going to eat it. You want to have some salt in it so they don't eat too much, but you don't want enough salt in it that they're not going to eat what they need. And the Durafirm we have found has that really fine line. So I would really suggest, if you're looking to switch up your minerals, to try the Durafirm. All right, we've been asked a lot what type of hay we feed, and we feed a primarily grass hay. It has very little alfalfa in it. The goats do just fine on this. We don't have any issues whatsoever with our goats on the grass hay. Even lactating does do just fine on this stuff. And they all seem to like it. They mow it up. So we're just not going to spend $6-7 for a bale of hay when we can get this stuff cheaper. It's just, it's economics, and I mean, feed costs enough when we're not going to spend as much, if not more, for hay. So sometimes you just have to find the best hay that you can for the price that you can afford to pay. So now we'll talk about how we feed. And this is the one that I think people ask the most. This is the one I feel like I talk about the most. As I mentioned before, the babies will get feed in the creep feeder starting about 4 weeks, and they'll go straight up to weaning, basically eating whatever they want, whenever they want, in the creep feeder. And then at weaning, which obviously depends on if it's a buck or doe, but doe is usually around 9 to 10 weeks, they'll be put into a separate pen away from mamas. They'll be weaned, and they'll be hand fed 2 pounds a day, 1 pound per feeding. So we're feeding them 1 pound in the morning, 1 pound at night. So each animal is getting about 2 pounds of feed a day. Usually it takes them about a month after weaning to really acclimate to that feeding protocol. They won't eat it all at first, but generally after about 4 or 5 weeks of that, they figured it out, and they'll clean everything up. Brood does is a little more complicated because of obviously the kidding and the lactation, and we don't want them to get too fat. I don't like skinny does. I mean, that's no secret. I can't stand skinny skeletal does. I just think it's unhealthy for the animal. I like to be able to have my does in a condition about a month after they wean to be able to go into the show ring. I'd like to pull any brood doe out of the pen and take her to the show without being a laughing stock, without taking a skeleton. So we probably feed a little bit more than some people would like us to the brood does. So when they're on full lactation, each doe is getting 4 pounds of feed a day. So 2 pounds in the morning, 2 pounds at night. And she'll do this about 2 weeks post-kidding. So she'll have kidded 2 weeks, and then about 2 weeks post-kidding, because we don't want to feed her this much while she's getting her milk in, because then she's just going to end up with mastitis, and she's going to end up with an engorged udder, even more than she already has. So we don't start that until about 2 weeks after she kids, and then that goes on until weaning. And then at weaning, we'll cut them back to 2 pounds a day, 1 pound in the morning, 1 pound at night. And they'll go on that amount until about 2 weeks pre-breeding. So 2 weeks before they're bred, they'll get cut back to 1 pound a day. So half a pound in the morning, half a pound at night. And they'll go on that amount until about 4 weeks pre-kidding. And then pre-kidding, they'll go back to the 2 pounds a day, 1 pound in the morning, 1 pound at night. I don't know if you were able to follow that, because like I said, it's kind of complicated. But we have found by doing that we lessen our toxemia cases drastically. We're still getting more triplets than I like to see, but not as many as we were getting in years previous. I mean, years previous, everybody was having triplets. But now we're seeing less triplets than we were before. So I think that's really helping us a lot. Bucks get 4 pounds of feed a day. So 2 in the morning, 2 at night. Generally the younger ones will not clean that up. They will eat about 3/4 of it. We just clean that out and add more. By the time they reach about 6 months old, I mean, that's getting cleaned right up. So bucks really need that extra nutrients because they're trying to grow. Bucks grow a lot faster than does, and they really need that to build the strong muscle, the strong bones, the strong structure that's going to help them breed does by the time they're 8 to 9 months. So make sure you're feeding your bucks enough. Yearling does, the same as the juniors. They get fed 2 pounds a day, so 1 pound in the morning, 1 pound at night. So if I've got 6 does in a pen, I'm going to give them 6 pounds of feeding, and then 6 pounds of feed in the evening. So, I mean, if anybody wants this protocol, I mean, we'll be more than happy to share it. I know it's a little complicated. This is what works for us. It might not necessarily work for you, but we have, over the years, kind of tweaked it, and this is what we've landed on, and this is what works the best.
So on hay, our brood does have actual round bales in their pens. I'll leave a link above for the round bale feeders that we found actually work pretty decent for goats. They don't leave a lot of mess, and it actually works pretty good with them. They can't get in it, so it actually makes them eat it. So they have hay around the clock, so they can go out there and get whatever they need when they need it. Our bucks get about 2 flakes of hay a day, unless they're cleaning it all up, and then they might get a little bit more. When it comes down to the weanlings, the juniors, and the yearlings, they get on average a flake to a flake and a half per goat per day. If they're cleaning it up, that pen's cleaning it up all the time, they'll get a little bit more. So we try to keep some hay in there all the time to help with their rumen. They do have access outside to get grass if that's what they want, or browse or whatever, but most of the time they're not going to go out there and salvage around unless it's a good time of the year where there's a lot of leaves where they can get them. So that's what we do with the hay.
So for the vitamins, usually go in once a week, clean the feeders out and add more. Or if I notice that their feeder is getting low, I'll put more in there. Certain times of the year, they're going to go through more vitamins than others. Wintertime, obviously, they go through more than they would in the summertime, because spring and fall usually is when they're out foraging the most. Not so much in the summertime because it's too hot and buggy, but that's what we do for vitamins. In the wintertime, we'll also buy the vitamin tubs. In the wintertime, we will also buy and supply them with mineral tubs. They're made by MLS. We don't like to do that really in the summertime because they don't lick on them as much in the summertime as they do in the wintertime. This is what we found. And certain groups will lick on them more than others. Like the juniors hardly touch them. The brood does will go through 2 tubs a month. So a lot of it just depends on the needs of the certain animals and the life stage that they're in.
Ain't done.
You just got right on it. That's enough.
So as you guys have seen in some of our past videos, we was sent some products by ShowCoat, and they're doing a special for this week only, or this weekend only. They're doing a special this weekend only, the 25th through the 28th.
It's 30% off.
No, it's not all weekend. So you've seen in some of our latest videos and stuff that we have had some products sent to us by ShowCoat. They're running a special this weekend, September 25th through the 28th. I got some promotion codes. I will leave down in the description. There's 3 different promotion codes. One for Friday the 25th, one for the 26th, and one for the 27th. If I'm not exactly right on that one, I will leave them all down with the dates that they're available. And so this is only for this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's only a 4-day sale. It's starting off with 30% off of any of their product on their website. This is only on their website. So go on there, order all your show supplies, your bathing stuff. If you want to try the Terminator, which we've had really good results with it, their 3-step system, which Brooke loves, that 3-step system. It works really good. Go on there. It's 30% off on Friday, and then it goes to 25% and then 20% on the last 2 days. So either way, you're going to save some money on product. We've been really impressed with ShowCoat. They're not paying us to do this, but I thought you guys might like this promotion, be able to go try out some of their products. And if you're just getting started, bathing products and that extra stuff that people use while your goats are getting ready for the show ring is really expensive. So if you can save some money on it and stuff, I thought you guys might like that. So please let them know when you go online and order that you heard from. Make sure when you go on and order, after you put your promotion code in there, let them know, however it might be, that we referred you guys to go over there and try out their products. So please hit that thumbs up button because it helps us out. It tells YouTube that people are watching and they're enjoying our videos. Please go over there, subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications when we put out a new video. This fall, it's been pretty busy, so we haven't been able to get out twice a week. We're trying to get out as most videos as we can. We have some stuff coming up here in the next couple weeks, some sales and stuff that we might bring you guys along with us because we want to show you how it works to be in the sales.
If you have any suggestions on videos or ideas on videos that we could do, something that you are interested in knowing about, please leave a comment below and let us know. We'll be more than happy to do that.
Thank you guys for coming along with us as we talked about feed tonight and our feed program. Hope it helped you guys out, and have a great day, and see you on the next video.